Good morning. It is still morning here. It is about a little bit after 11. And here at the Healing House, this is in Richland, Washington. And this is hey, Tara. This is a place where lots of healing happens. They have some energy workers here. They have a place for kids therapy, special needs kids. They do doTERRA oils here, and they also sell therapeutic honey. So, we are going to do a little class today on the emotion code. We have a couple people that came for the class, and so we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to scope myself while I'm sharing with them. And I'd like to say hello to all the replay viewers, as well as anyone who's going to hop on and who's on right now. And so basically, if you have any questions, I will try to catch those. If you want to type them in, also don't forget to tap the screen for the hearts. And I'm just going to go with the flow here. I've got Jen McClure here. She's the proprietor and owner of this building. And so she and I are going to share some information about emotion code, and we'll just see how it goes. Okay? I don't know if you want to be visible on this. If you don't, that's fine. Thank you for the hearts. Okay. But anyway, do you want to? There she is. So my friend Tara is on there. She's giving hearts. And this is Jen for everyone who's watching. And so she and I, hi, Incredible23. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to tap the screen and give us hearts. Hopefully this will be some great information for you. If you do have questions, go ahead and feel free to type your question in. I will try to pay attention as I'm sharing with the group. Actually, we only have a couple people here, so this should be fun.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to get started. For those who are not familiar with what the emotion code is, it is a book that was written. Here's a picture of the cover. It's got, I'm getting kind of glare from the ceiling lights, but anyway, that's what the cover of the book looks like. It is a book that has revolutionized and changed my world. I have been practicing the techniques in the book for about 2 years now, and have just experienced some amazing changes. You guys feel free to listen to this. I'm just on here periscoping. Here's the actual book. She brought the book over. You're fine. So you guys have probably seen the book. Here's the book for my online viewers. And so, you can actually go ahead and Google Dr. Bradley Nelson. He's got, YouTube videos. I believe that he even still does a weekly webinar where you can actually call in and get, actually listen in on how he does this process and ask questions and things like that. So, as I was saying, this technique has really changed my life. It gave me a way to deal with emotions that I knew I needed to be free from, but didn't know how to free myself from these emotions. And so a lot of times, we do different things. We have counselors and therapists, and we try to talk these things out. But what I found out after reading this book is that literally what happens is the emotions are an energy, a vibrational energy that gets stuck in your body. Our bodies are a vibrational nature. And so, hi sis, my sister just joined on here. So when these emotions get stuck in your body, the vibration of the emotion gets trapped in your body, first of all, it's subconscious. So you're not even consciously really aware that it's there. And second of all, it is literally stuck. And so no amount of talking about it, no amount of therapy, none of that stuff can really help to release these trapped emotions. The only thing that will do it is manually removing it, the energy of it, using a magnet. So how Dr. Nelson figured all that out, I'm not sure. He was inspired to do this practice while he was a chiropractor. He was a chiropractor in practice for 23 years. And then as he released the book, The Emotion Code, in 2006, he began to pretty much pursue this full time as a career of promoting this work. He also has gone on to create a program called the Body Code. And so this is the Body Code system. The emotion code is a part of this. And so with this technique, we are able to manually release the emotions that are stuck in our body by very slightly disrupting our electromagnetic field using the magnet. So you can use any kind of a magnet for this. Dr. Nelson does recommend the Niken magnets, and so for those of you who are watching on there, I do have a Niken magnet here. This is the big behemoth, but there are smaller ones that you can use. You don't have to even really use a magnet, although most people that I work with, because the more you do this work, you begin to become really sensitive to this subtle feeling of the energy moving in your body. It's very subtle, but you start to notice it. People notice that they can feel it more with the bigger magnet. So it tends to work better. But you can just use your fingers if you're in a pinch and you're out somewhere and you're like, I really need to do this process right now and I don't have a magnet. You can just use your fingers. So really, what else do I want to say about this? I don't know. I kind of got on a roll.
No, I'm like, keep going. How about you?
So Dr. Nelson, he wrote the book and everything. So the other thing that is important to know is that there is a chart that he developed over the years of doing this process. So again, for 23 years in practice, he was doing this on his patients and using the magnets and finding and discovering that people with incurable conditions were actually getting better. And the chart of emotions that he came up with is this one here. You want to give it to everyone to take a closer look at. When you do the process, you don't actually even need to know what's on the chart. So I'll show everybody here. This is the chart. You don't really need to know what's on the chart because we're dealing with the subconscious. There's a connection in quantum mechanics to pretty much all knowledge. So quantumly, you know what's on this chart, even though consciously you don't. So when you're doing the process, you're not using your conscious mind anyway. It's all subconscious. And so what he discovered is that basically these are the emotions that mostly everybody has. There are, of course, hundreds and hundreds of other emotions, but they're similar enough to these to where these are the ones that, kind of kept coming up for this process. So this was the chart that he developed. There's other techniques out there now that people have developed where they have way more. But in my opinion, I prefer simplicity. Less is more to me. So if it works, then, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. So basically what we do in the process is, by process of elimination, we ask yes or no questions. We clear our conscious mind and just allow the body to tell us yes or no. How that works, is anybody familiar with muscle testing? Everybody's here familiar with muscle testing. So we use muscle testing. It's also known as applied kinesiology. And we can either physically muscle test a person by having them put their arm out and doing it this way. But what we prefer to do, because neither one of us are practitioners, is we prefer to teach you how to do it so that you can do it yourself. In that case, we use a sway test. There's other techniques as well, but the sway test seems to be the one that works best for people. So when we do the sway test, basically what that is naturally your body will have a tendency to sway forward toward things that are positive, that you like, or that are beneficial. And naturally you tend to sway backwards away from things that are not good for you, or that you don't like, or that are negative. So in a conversation, you'll notice, like, if it's really engaging, people lean into the conversation. If it's something that they're not wanting to hear, they might lean away from it. That's the natural tendency of the body. So when we do this work, we're tapping into that. And so naturally your body will tell you yes or no. And so we'll ask the questions, and through process of elimination, we narrow it down to one box on the chart. So if it's in column A, then we eliminated all of column B. If it's in an odd row, we eliminate all the even rows. and then we identify which box it's in that way. Then once we've asked the body which one of these emotions it's ready to release with yes or no questions, is it, well, actually the way that I do it, I have a class that I teach on Monday nights over in Richland. The way that I do it is we number them. That way there's no conscious thought going on at all. You don't know what the words are. You're not like, oh, what am I, I'm not releasing that, So we get rid of that by numbering them. And so we ask, is it number 1? Yes or no. Number 2. A lot of times we get more than 1. And so then we'll just ask through each one, can we release it now? If we get a yes that we can release it, we take the magnet, and somebody can demonstrate how we use the magnet. And for those of you who are still hanging in there watching, you don't get to see this part. But we take the magnet and go down. I do it from the base of the neck all the way down to the base of the spine. And actually, I'll just do that. So, base of the neck to the base of the spine. If you're releasing, if it's just an emotion that you've identified on this chart, it's 3 times with the magnet. If you're doing it yourself and you don't have a partner, then you would do it from just below your nose and go over your head. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Just go over your head. So what that's doing, if you turn sideways, you have your major meridian of your energy runs down your spine. So it's going down the center of your body. So by doing that, you're disrupting that energy field just enough so that these emotions can be released from your body. I just work here. That's what Dr. Nelson says. It works. How it works, we could probably spend a long time trying to figure that out, but it works. So practicing this, in my opinion, is something that has really changed my life. It's changed the lives of a lot of people that I know. Over the last 2 years, I've had probably a group of about 5 friends, and we do it very consistently every week. And just the changes in our lives have been incredible. I have one friend who, she was in a really bad accident that wiped out her memory. And then about 15 years later, she had a kidney surgery, and she had to have one of her kidneys removed and transplanted. And so she's been very ill. And then she had a lot of family issues. And when you start to deal with this kind of energy work, you start to really correlate the emotional stuff going on with how the body is reacting physically. And so through doing this work, she lost 40 pounds. She has an amazing, unbelievable relationship with her family now. She said that over the Thanksgiving holiday was the first time in probably 20 years that they laughed and played and had a good time, and there was no drama, there was no fighting, any of that stuff. And so it's just amazing how when we do the work, how it can shift and affect those people around us as well. So that's just one of the many amazing stories that I have of my friends who've been using this technique and consistently, doing it, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's not a one-time, let's do that and do a session, we're done. Like, we constantly go through it. Like with my kids, it's like, okay, we need to work on that. And so we'll do it 2 or 3 times a week. 1 or 2 emotions, we're done. So it's not like you do 50 and you're done. It's kind of a process. They say your body's like an onion, and you just have all these layers. Sometimes you just have to get through a layer. You let your body heal and process, and then you pull up the next level, and you just kind of keep going through that. Mm-hmm. When you said that story, it made me think the law of attraction is basically what we are is what we attract. So if we have all these negative emotions floating around, and a lot of these are passed on from our ancestors, then what are we attracting? So as you get rid of those and you put a higher vibration in there, as you pull these out, you're actually putting a positive in there, you start attracting that more in your life.
Exactly.
So it literally will transform everything. So
yeah. So what we started doing in my class on Monday nights is when we do the releasing, here's how this came up. There was another lady who has another similar process. And so what they decided to do was to have another chart where they had the opposite positive emotion on that chart. So they would release the negative emotion and replace it with its positive emotion. And I'm like, again, I go for simple. Like, well, what's the most positive emotion that you could have? Because that could replace all of them, right? It's love. So loving yourself unconditionally will replace everything that's on that list. So that's what we do when we do the releasing. We just intend unconditional self-love. And if we're watching or observing, then we intend love for that person that we're observing. And I don't know, it works. So
I'm just going to look and see if there's any we think we're going to go off of here.
yeah, okay, so we have, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. It's kind of glaring. Could you show the book again, please? Yes, absolutely. This is the book. It's The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. You can go on healerslibrary.com, and they have all kinds of really cool stuff there. Thank you for it was a little camera that went up instead of a heart, but thank you. So on healerslibrary.com, I did get an email that they were updating. You're welcome. And they were updating their servers because they were getting a lot of traffic. Dr. Nelson is continually promoting this work, and so a lot of more people are finding out about it because it works. I mean, people are getting results from doing this technique, and it's really simple, and it's just a matter of practicing it and doing it on a consistent basis. So.
Okay, we'll go through maybe just a few of these and see. So I kind of said, what are emotions? They're energy. They're emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. So when we feel things, everything that we feel or experience is an actual vibration. We have negative, and we have positive, we have highs, and we have lows. So usually we feel it, and then we process it, and we let go of it. That should be the natural process. The problem is they get lodged in our body because of a lot of different reasons, toxicity, whatever. Sometimes we just choose to hang on to things. So they actually become stuck in the body. So that's why they are called trapped. Sometimes they're just so powerful when we experience them that they can't dislodge. Okay? They can occur at any age, any place in the body, and they can even happen in your utero. So when you experience something as a mom, it passes down to your children. It can. They become trapped in the body as actual balls of energy. There's people that can actually see our energy field, and so they can actually see that energy resonating within our body. And when it does that, it actually distorts the normal energy field, which then causes imbalance in our body. So if you think of disease, it's just an imbalance. Okay, something's just off. So there's a lot of things that affect our energy field. Trapped emotions are definitely one of them. So imbalance. What we do in the physical, okay, affects us in the energetic field, and vice versa. What we do in the energetic field, our emotions, things that we feel, also affects us in the physical realm. So whatever one happened first, we don't know. It's just kind of a continual cycle all the time, because then as you physically have some issues, then you attract it emotionally, and it just is kind of a spiral. You're usually on a downward spiral at that point. So we're going to reverse that. So what is energy in the body? The Chinese have called it qi. There's a lot of different people who kind of use different words for it, but it's either spiritual or energy that emanates from our body. So however you want to call it that, but it's a template for our physical body. So here's just some pictures here. The first one is of a leaf, a fern leaf, using a special kind of camera. What's that camera called?
Kirlian photography?
There we go. That can actually take the energy a photograph of the energy field. Same with our handprint. So though we don't see it, we are emanating this energy all the time. It can become imbalanced. Think about the food you eat, the thoughts you think, toxicity. There's a lot of different things that throw us off balance. Oh, here we go. Brilliant photography shows the energy field. So this is something you'll want to write down if you haven't seen this. It's I'll get you the website on the next page. But Dr. Emoto did some work here years ago, and he would flash freeze droplets of water. So he wanted to see what crystal basically would be formed when you freeze this water. And so there's patterns, and a lot of them would turn out to be different ones. This is actually a pattern of prayer. And what he would do is he would take this water and put it in a little vial, and he would play music. Okay? Or he would write a word on that vial, and then he would flash freeze that water droplet and come up with different crystals. So that one, he just simply take the word prayer to it. That's what happened. On this next one here, you can see a lot of different, basically, patterns that were formed. Grace, angel, peace. But then look at the negative ones. You disgust me. You're a fool. And we don't have on this one, but there's nothing where they play hard rock music versus Beethoven music. Literally, it changes the water molecules just by putting a word on. Yeah. So, how does that help us at all? If that does it to water, there's another one. Okay, one's polluted water, and the other one, the photo on the left is an ice crystal frozen from severely polluted water. The photo on the right is the same water refrozen after having been blessed. See that?
Or when you send blessings to other people, even.
You're sending them actual energy. So our bodies are made up of at least 70% water. Think about that. If that can happen to water, then what are we doing within our bodies? The clothes we wear that have words on them, the music we listen to, the thoughts that are going over, around in our heads. I'm not good enough, or oh, that's so stupid, I shouldn't have done that. We're actually affecting our own energy field. So our body is pure energy, our thoughts are pure energy, emotions are energy, and we know water is pure energy. So everything is affecting us all the time, whether it's for good or for bad. So our bodies are like a lie detector. We know that a polygraph reveals truth, and our body can actually tell the difference between what's true and I know, I was like, you need to watch that movie again. Between what's true and what's not. Our body can do that. That's actually why the polygraph works. So you think about it. Have you ever had like a gut feeling, like, oh, I should do that? Or we call it your mother's instinct, or I just have a feeling. It's an actual response going on in your body. Okay? The more you kind of do this work, you can become very sensitive to it. Right now, we're not quite aware of it. Maybe the more we become aware of it, the more we realize it's real. So, like Crystal said, this is all happening in the subconscious mind. Subconscious is 90% of our brain, and it remembers everything that we say, everything that we think, everything that we see, everything. It's all recorded in our subconscious. It's an actual computer, and it's a binary computer, meaning yes or no. We can ask it yes or no questions, and it will give us those answers. We can access what the subconscious mind already knows. So this is how we can find out what trapped emotions are actually stored in our body. And we do that through muscle testing. A lot of chiropractors do this. It's also called applied kinesiology. And we kind of talked about it. Let's see. We can short circuit our system by being overloaded or stressed or introducing a negative factor into our energy field.
So like drugs, alcohol, that kind of stuff can really, really affect your ability to do this kind of work.
Yes. we can strengthen this electrical system by doing positive things. Eating good food, having good thoughts, exercising, color, there's color therapy, there's music therapy, and removing the negative emotions.
And essential oils.
And essential oils, yes. They're one of the highest frequencies out there, so by using them, which they have an emotional kit now, it has forgiveness, mercy. Are they really? Oh, good. By putting those on, you're actually raising your frequency, or also what it's doing is if let's say you have a hard time forgiving someone or something, it's helping to bring that up to the surface so that it's easier to release. So we're going to work here on this sway test, and there's a few other ones, but we'll just do the sway test. But here's some tips. Yeah, we're going to this now. It's kind of homework. But you're going to, once we teach you how to do it, you're going to practice 100 times a day for 1 or 2 weeks. Some of you will get it right off the bat. Some of you won't. If you decide to use a different modality, like a lot of chiropractors go like this with the fingers, they test, flicking it, there's all different sorts of modalities to do that. So the sway test, you probably won't have to practice, obviously, that much, but it's just I kind of have to just relax, and then what we'll do is we'll start by saying your name. So we're going to say Jennifer, and you just naturally are going to sway forward. And then I think of my husband's name, Jeff, and you just naturally go back. So you have to think of something that is true so that you can feel your body going. Think of something that is not true and you feel it going back. So that's how we're going to kind of start so that we can be sensitive. And then you'll get to the point where literally as you're thinking of the question, your body will just start moving that way because it works that fast. This is not to predict the future. You're not going to go buy a lottery ticket and say, what number should I pick? It's just energy within our body, not to predict things that are already out there going on. And then just don't doubt that you can do it. A lot of times we throw in that negative, oh, I can't do that. Did I get that answer? Like, so I just tell people, just tell yourself, I can do this. Yep, that was a yes. Because you're kind of like training your body to say, yep, I can do this. I mean, it's easy. So how about we start? That's our homework. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so stand up.
Okay, so we're going to let our guests that are here present with us practice, and thank you for the hearts again. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but if you do have any other questions really quick, go ahead and post those up right now while Jen gets going. Again, thank you. The book is called The Emotion Code, and life-changing. This technique is super easy and can really help if you have anything going on. I highly suggest it. Oh, I'm sorry you missed it too, but definitely catch the replay. And I do have a catch.me account, so you can catch the replay. And I will be posting again on Monday night around 6 o'clock to talk more about this. So definitely check back in with me. And it was wonderful having you guys on this scope. And I'm going to sign off and catch up with you guys next time. Okay, bye. Oh, the website that I mentioned is thehealerslibrary.com. Healerslibrary.com. Okay, and I'm going to get off here and help these guys learn how to do their sway test. Okay.